So a quick shift of gear into R. Why should you go into R? And R is very, very similar to Python. You'll see a lot of things popping up that are, they're the same key points. A better question might be, why do you want to use R rather than Python? And that is what I'm going to more focus on at the moment. So R is very, very simple. This is data of, I think it's roughly 70 million steps based on 120 pedometers that have been analysed to see how active people are in a particular building that I'm not allowed to divulge because of ethics reasons at Curtin University. It's an active project that I'm working on at the moment, and the reason I put this slide up when I said that R is simple, I started learning R a month and a half ago. And this is what I've been able to get out of it so far. It's not a difficult language, and I'm absolutely not some wonder genius that can pick up languages very, very quickly. It's just a very, very simple language. It does very much what it says on the tin, and you know largely what's going to come out of it at the end. Again, there are so many packages, so many pre-formed pieces of code that might tell you how to get the data that you want out of this huge data set that you might have access to. So it's really, really easy to use. And I can bring up this and show you a little bit more about that actually in situ in a second. The other thing is that R is quite beautiful. It's really, really good at producing beautiful plots. And if you want people to read your papers, a really great way to do that is to produce beautiful plots in them. It might sound really obnoxious, but it's true. People are attracted to papers that look good. And if you can produce really interesting and eye-catching plots with splashes of colour, with really interesting, three-dimensional renders, these are the kinds of things that are going to draw people towards your research rather than somebody else's. This one is just a stock piece of data that's actually built into R for using in examples. So it's, I actually don't remember what that data is of, but it is pretty. This one is voice chat usage from a video gaming clan. So people who play video games together use voice chat to talk about what they're doing in the game, and just by outputting a bunch of raw numbers from that, and even from some of the volume analysis that was coming out of the speakers, you can produce really, really beautiful plots that tell you all sorts of interesting things. In fact, R is a great language for exploring data. One of the great reasons, and one of the reasons why I'm using it in the step analysis project, is because it tells you things that you might not have noticed about your data otherwise. So things that could sometimes be hidden really sort of pop out. And again, produces really beautiful plots. One of the great things about R, it chooses your colours for you. You don't need to choose which colour is going to be in what section. You can just pick a nice gamut and it will go out and plot something that looks very eye-catching. One of the other really great things that blows me away about R as well is that it is eminently shareable. There's a plugin called Shiny, the Shiny dashboard, and this essentially allows you to create small web pages very, very quickly and very, very easily that allow you to show your data analytics with other people without having to have the R Studio installed on their computer. They can just log onto the website, select a bunch of parameters, and pull out results as a very, very easy way of interacting with it. So we do this as well in the CIC. We create dashboards for people to look at their data if it's something that you are struggling to deal with. And that's something I'll jump into as well. This is Google Analytics data from a website. You can see quite easily, you can see periodic access based on time of day. Obviously very few people are accessing websites at the wee hours of the morning. So again, it starts to elucidate information about the data that might not be immediately obvious just by looking at it in other statistical methods. R is also a community. It's a very, very active community, not quite as active as Python. Very friendly, big at SPSS. Only 3,000 answers on Stack Overflow for SPSS, most of them asking how to get their data into R instead. But it is a really active community. One of the reasons why it is so new is because R is newer as a language. So there are fewer answers on the question. But one of the great things about being a new language is that it's kind of like millennials. It's grown up with the internet. And that means that a lot of the ways to learn R, a lot of the tutorials, are directly built as a result of how we use the internet. They're more natural flowing. They use methods that you would actually use in your everyday life on the internet. So you don't have to go through some arcane tutorials, pages and pages of text. A lot of the tutorials are interactive. They allow you to type things into a web page and it will give you out procedural responses based on how you're doing, which is fantastic as well. And R is free. You don't have to pay for it. Again, it comes free from a website. It comes with a bunch of packages preloaded into it as well. As far as I'm aware, I don't think there's a single package out there for R or for Python that you actually have to pay for. They are both open languages. They are designed to be used by anyone and everyone who wants access to them, and with a very active community, that's a really big selling point as well. One of the other great things about both R and Python is that you can get support in Curtin from the CIC on both those. We run regular, every Wednesday, hacky hour. So today's Wednesday, it's going to be a hacky hour today from 3 to 4 p.m. We run it in Common Grounds, and there are a bunch of other people from around the university, from other departments, who also come down and are more than happy to help you with your project. We will help you with any language that you're using, but if you're using R and Python, I guarantee you multiple people at Hacky Hour will be able to help you. They'll know exactly what it is that you're trying to do, and they'll be able to get some answers very quickly and in ways that you might not have thought of either. Also, it's just a very good bonding experience. It's nice to see other researchers who might be doing similar or very different things. Sometimes seeing different research can give you very interesting insights into your own research. The other thing we run is software carpentry. The next one is coming up on the 28th to the 30th of August. Software carpentry is a very, very fast and frenetic crash course into these kinds of languages. This one, in fact, is going to be the first time that we run R and Python in the same course. It's going to be a wonderful experiment. We'll see how that one goes. But you don't have to have any experience with coding. You don't have to have any experience with these languages in particular. All you need is a laptop with administrator access to the laptop, so the ability to install your own programs on it, which most people these days do. Bring that along, and for 3 days we will give you a catered lunch service which teaches the full introduction of these languages. It's very, very easy to go through, and it costs, I think, $30. That just covers the food costs. And we run them hopefully every couple of months, depending on demand. At the moment, demand is quite high. Waiting lists are usually 20, 30 people after we finish ticket sales, so we will keep running them so long as people keep wanting to do them. And that's largely it. That's a crash course in both R and Python.